You know that healthy granola bar you just ate? Yeah, it might have as much sugar as a dessert. Today, I'm diving into the fascinating world of truly no-carb, no-sugar foods, what they are, where to find them, and why they might be key to better health. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly which foods are genuinely carb and sugar-free, and how to spot hidden sugars in supposedly healthy options. And it's actually pretty mind-blowing when you start looking into it. You know, according to recent research, many foods marketed as sugar-free can contain up to 18 to 25 grams of hidden sugars per serving. Wait, what? That's basically a dessert. Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. Let's start with what actually qualifies as a true no-carb, no-sugar food. All right, hit me with it. What makes the cut? Well, first up we have arugula. It's this amazing bitter green that's basically a nutritional powerhouse. It's packed with vitamin K and compounds called glucosinolates that actually have anti-cancer properties. Hold up. Are you telling me something that tastes this good can be completely carb-free? Absolutely, and it gets better. Another fantastic option is Radicchio, those deep red leaves with just 3 grams of carbs per 100 grams and 0 sugar. It's incredible for vision health and reducing inflammation. You know what's funny? It's like the dark side of the food world, but in a good way. Speaking of dark sides, did you know Darth Vader merchandise consistently outsells Luke Skywalker by 4 to 1? Ha! Are you suggesting people are more drawn to the forbidden foods, just like they're drawn to Vader? Exactly. But in this case, these foods aren't actually forbidden. They're just misunderstood. What other surprising options do we have? Well, here's something that might blow your mind. Dandelion greens. You know those weeds people try to get rid of from their lawns? Wait, you mean those yellow flowers that kids make wishes on? The very same. They contain just 2 grams of carbs per 100 grams and 0 sugar. Plus, they're packed with prebiotics and have amazing detoxifying properties. That's incredible. What about protein sources? I mean, we can't live on greens alone, right? Absolutely not. And this is where it gets really good. All pure proteins like chicken breast, beef, fish, they're completely carb-free. All of them. No hidden catches. Well, you do need to be careful with processed meats. Some might have added sugars or preservatives, but pure unprocessed meats, 0 carb, 0 sugar. You know what's fascinating? The market for sugar alternatives is exploding. Recent data shows the polyol sweeteners market is projected to grow from $4.6 billion in 2025 to $8.2 billion by 2035. That's a huge jump. But here's the thing, we need to be careful with these alternatives too. Many of them can still affect blood sugar levels, really even the ones labeled as sugar-free. Many manufacturers use tricks like splitting sugars into multiple types on ingredient lists, or using names like maltodextrin or brown rice syrup. So what you're saying is, we need to be labeled detectives. Exactly. And speaking of hidden carbs, let's talk about some supposedly healthy foods that might be sabotaging people's low-carb efforts. Oh, this should be good. Hit me with the truth bombs. Well, take granola for example. A single serving can pack 20 to 30 grams of carbs, mostly from sugar. And those low-fat yogurts, they often have 18 to 25 grams of sugar per serving. That's actually shocking. What about protein bars? They're supposed to be healthy, right? That's another big one. Many protein bars contain 15 to 25 grams of sugar or sugar substitutes. They're basically candy bars with added protein. Okay, so what should people look for instead? Focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Remember those greens we talked about? Combine them with clean proteins like chicken or fish. And I'm guessing eggs would be on that list too. Absolutely, eggs are a perfect example of a 0 carb, 0 sugar food packed with nutrients. You know what's interesting? It seems like the simplest foods are often the best choices. That's exactly right. The less processed something is, the more likely it is to be truly carb and sugar-free. Let's talk about vegetables a bit more. Are there any surprising ones that make the cut? Well, celery is fascinating. It's practically 0 calories and 0 carbs. Plus, it contains something called free N-butylide. That's great for health. That's quite a name. Any others? Cucumber is another great one. It's mostly water, has virtually no carbs, and contains compounds that help with hydration. Speaking of hydration, what about drinks? What can people sip on without worrying about carbs and sugar? Plain water is obvious, but black coffee and unsweetened tea are excellent options too. They're completely carb-free and even offer some health benefits. That's good to know. What about herbs and seasonings? Most herbs and spices are carb-free and can add amazing flavor. Think basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary. They're all great options. So you can still have flavorful food while avoiding carbs and sugar. Absolutely. It's all about being creative with your seasonings and combining different zero-carb ingredients. What about fats? Are there good options there? Yes, olive oil, coconut oil and butter are all completely carb-free. And olives themselves are a great low-carb option too. That's actually really helpful. It seems like there are more options than people might think. Exactly. And that's why it's so important to educate yourself about these options. Knowledge really is power when it comes to nutrition. Let's talk about meal planning. How can people put this all together? Start with a protein base like chicken or fish. Then add low-carb vegetables and healthy fats. It's really that simple. Any specific combinations you'd recommend? Try grilled chicken with sautéed arugula and olive oil, or baked fish with roasted radicchio and herbs. The possibilities are endless. That actually sounds really delicious. What about snacks? Hard-boiled eggs, celery with sugar-free nut butter, or even simple cold cuts can work great as snacks. And I'm guessing preparation is key. Absolutely. Having these foods ready to go makes it much easier to stick to a no-carb, no-sugar lifestyle. What about eating out? Any tips for that? Focus on simple grilled meats and vegetables, and don't be afraid to ask about ingredients or request modifications. That makes sense. Any final thoughts for our listeners? Remember that eating no carb, no sugar doesn't mean bland or boring. It's about making informed choices and discovering new delicious options, and being aware of those hidden sugars and carbs in supposedly healthy foods. Right, exactly. Always read labels carefully and don't be fooled by marketing claims. You know, this has been really eye-opening. I think a lot of our viewers will be surprised by some of these revelations. That's what makes nutrition so fascinating. There's always something new to learn and discover. Remember folks, when it comes to no carb, no sugar foods, sometimes the simplest options are the best ones. And don't forget that healthy granola bar might be hiding more sugar than you think. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite quick health tips. Channel, stay tuned for more insights.